Right. I know it's been quite a while since I've filmed anything. I don't have excuses besides it's hard for me to stay consistent. I have too many things that I like to do and too many projects, and I half start them and half finish them. Much like everything else. So, anyways, I would like to get back into making videos because I enjoy it. Okay, now, so I want to add on to what she is saying here in this video. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it because I know that I fast forward people and their intros and that, okay.
Brown. I think of his famous song With You and what felt like innocent R&B love songs that I honestly still love to this day. But Chris Brown is no longer singing about Jordans on Saturday.
You like Jordans on Saturday.
He was used to bait in millions with his beautiful and anointed voice with what seemed like harmless love songs. But then, like so many other artists, he switched. He appeared as light, but then we found out it was a disguise, and he revealed that he actually walks in darkness. You may have heard a similar story in the Bible with Lucifer. As it is written, that Satan himself disguises himself as an angel of light. And that also goes for those that walk with Satan as well. And if you're wondering if I'm making the claim that Chris Brown walks with the devil, yes, I am in fact making that claim. Whether he knows it or not, I believe, and I'm believing by the end of today's video, you will come to that conclusion as well. Let's dive in. Chris Brown has been making music since 2005, 20 years later, and he is now in the spotlight again. He's currently in the headlines for his concert performance that went viral on TikTok after he invited a fan on stage with him and performed a dance with her in a way that led to her coming home to divorce papers. Because this wasn't just one concert. He seems to be going on tour, having sexual intercourse with fans with clothes on. And I immediately asked myself, what kind of music would warrant this? This definitely is not about Jordans on a Saturday. Well, if you take a look at the lyrics of his songs today, which I will not be reading to you because it is quite literally verbal porn, you will understand why this is going on. It's basically musical porn stadium. Who would do this? Someone who is spiritually blind and has fallen into worship of this idol. This idol that has completely given himself over to this.
Where she's going with this is she, puts out there that Chris has sold his soul. I think that it's actually deeper than that. I think that a lot of these celebrities, movie stars, even politicians, anybody that's got seemingly a voice or sway or anything like that, that they are actually possibly the fallen ones, the fallen angels. Now, we know that there is 1/3 that fell in Revelation, and there are 200 in the book of Enoch, the watchers, that also decided to come down and take wives. And I still believe that the angels and the wives are still alive. It says in Enoch that they were turned into sirens. And people assume that that's mermaids, and it very well might be. I haven't done enough research all the way, but I mean, just think about the movie Little Mermaid and how she ended up on land. I just think somehow if they were banished and became sirens, if that's what it is, mermaids, that somehow they ended back up on land and they're still immortal. Like maybe that was, the trade on why they said yes to becoming wives of the fallen angels, that in exchange for knowledge to their fathers, possibly to rule kingdoms. And it's been like that for generations now. I think that possibly it's more than just selling your soul. I think that these fallen ones reinvent themselves with new names and new identities, and they get bored because maybe they've been stuck here for so long that they just continue deceiving people in different ways and gather worship to themselves in all the different ways, characters that they play.
Spirit of lust. When you follow him, when you listen to his music and give him worship, you are opening yourself up to being ensnared by the same spirit of lust that has him chained. But here's what I want to show you, that this wasn't random. This didn't just happen out of nowhere. This is the fruit of a spiritual journey that has been unfolding for years. And after that, by the end of this video, I'm going to show you why Chris Brown openly says that he is not from Earth, and how that connects to one of the fastest growing spiritual movements in the world today. But we'll move in that direction by starting off with noticing how Chris Brown is part of one of the biggest patterns that we see in the music industry. Katy Perry, Usher, Avril Lavigne, Beyonce, John Legend, Mariah Carey, Pink, Sierra, Neo, Snoop Dogg, and even Chris Brown. Do you want to know something that all of these artists have in common? They all grew up singing in church, singing worship music.
Only reason that I live is Christ came down and died for you and me.
And ironically, they all have one other thing in common. They all now love promoting everything that is in opposition to the Bible. They also all include satanic imagery.
That's true. All the music videos have gotten so dark and disgusting lately. It's just people are saying, oh, it's art. Come on, man. Like, really? We all like the dark stuff? There's so many ways to create videos, and like a lot of the lyrics, well, yeah, a lot of the lyrics do match the dark visuals, but some don't even match them. It's just dark for the sake of that's what they want to do. Yeah.
In their music videos and concerts, these stars, these idols that are now...
That's another thing. They're called stars, idols. And he says that he's not from this world. Several others say that they're not from this world also.
Now famous today, all turned their back on Jesus, but they can't help but still sing about him, just now in a blasphemous way. Let me quickly show you some albums that Chris Brown has been featured on so you can see his spiritual affiliation. 2011, he's featured on the Game's Red album, where we are met with the Freemasonry, one eye occult symbolism. And look at how many albums he's been on that contain biblical titles, but all contain lyrics that mock Christ and glorify sin. 2012, Jesus Piece, where they sing get high, get high, get high, and everything in opposition to the Bible. Snoop Dogg's album in 2013, where he sings, I'm living in the sin. It's how it's gonna be. I heard the boy is sinning and they die for me. 2013, Trials and Tribulations. 2015, God Forgives, I Don't. 2019, Church on Sunday, yet the entire album is about sex and glorifying money. And lastly, here he is on Ray J's album. In 2022, Redemption, where the entire album mocks God and glorifies sin and sings, oh, hallelujah. Nothing else compares to smoking marijuana in California. There are so many more, but I don't want to bore you. But I just want you to see that Chris Brown is heavily involved in mocking the Bible. But why, you might ask? Well, that's a very good question. If you don't believe in Jesus, it's very difficult to come to an answer to why this is. But if you know the Bible, if you know the Bible is the truth, and you know the devil only hates one name, which is Jesus, the answer to why they do this is obvious. Instead of worshiping Jesus with their anointed gifts, they have chosen to receive fame and fortune for the limited time they have on this earth to bring glory to sin. And like I've been saying for the last few months, these concerts are where you really get to see how spiritually involved these artists are. It's kind of where they show their cards, and you really get to see how the artist is really
could be art, could be them showing you.
Being used, because this is when they're the most open about it, because it's never just a concert. It is a demonic ceremony. And for me, and those who also walk in step with the Holy Spirit, it is not difficult to see this. Let's shine the light of Christ on this deception so you can see it for what it truly is. Take a look at his introduction for one of his concert performances.
They do this all at the concerts. It really is a gathering of energy and ritual by everything they do. Everything is just a big ritual.
Your mind has been altered. I can see
They tell you.
your addiction. Your desire became endless.
Yeah, that's one of his songs, Under the Influence. And it is very Rated R.
And if you notice, he had this spoken by something that looks like a cyborg alien looking thing. And the reason for that is because Chris Brown is obsessed with extraterrestrial life, which again, if you are a Christian, then you know that these are simply just the demonic spirits that have come to deceive the entire world that Revelation warns about. We're living in a time right now where that is truly being revealed. And Chris Brown is not shy about sharing his involvement with aliens. He actually even believes that he is an alien himself. Take a look at this.
Why do you believe?
Because I'm an alien.
Why?
Because I'm an alien.
Explain.
I can't explain.
Do you feel like, and I don't mean, sometimes people think alien with the eyes and outer space and all that stuff, but you really feel like you're not of this planet?
I don't know. No, I'm an alien.
Very odd, and that might seem crazy to you, and it would have sounded crazy to me if I hadn't already come across something that is a growing spiritual movement taking place right now. And he is a part of the spiritual movement, and that movement is called starseeds. A starseed is a spiritual new age term for...
And it's true. Starseed would be another name for the ones that, fell and produced children with the women. I guess that would be considered a starseed. I mean, in Genesis, it says that, your seed, talking to Satan, your seed will be an enmity against Jesus' seed. So we know that there's a seed that is not meant to be, and then there's mankind's seed. And it's just another way of telling you, but that's the whole point of deception. They tell you right in your face what they're doing, but it comes off as artistic, edgy. It's just a way with words, poetic, whatever. People excuse it, but that is what deception is.
Someone who feels not from Earth and believes that they're here to help humanity or the planet in some way. This is a growing movement that is taking place right now. The hashtag has millions of views on platforms like TikTok. Many people who identify as starseeds genuinely feel they were chosen for a special purpose. They don't quite fit in on Earth. They have a mission to awaken or help humanity. They're meant to bring light into a dark world. They feel different from those around them, and they possess unique spiritual insight. If you know the Bible, this is simply an inversion of Christianity. Chris Brown believes he is on a mission and possibly has no idea that his mission is to lead people to eternal darkness. So many people have no idea how spiritually involved Chris Brown is and how much he is being used to promote the kingdom of darkness. These artists, these idols are platformed because of how spiritually involved they are worshiping the demonic kingdom. In putting this video
either
together,
they're the children of the fallen or they are them.
The Bible says when
they're able
anything
to
is exposed by the light, it becomes visible. That light, the only true light in this world, is Jesus Christ. If you haven't already, I pray by the end of this video, I pray after seeing this that you would put your faith in him, because
the more and more that I see stuff like this, the more it's like the truth is so overwhelmingly obvious that they're trying to push things in this certain way. And if you even start researching a little bit about how, like Enoch tells you a lot, but if you start researching how the different, kingdoms fell in the Bible and how they operated, and how I believe that we're in actually Revelation 20, like where it's Satan's turn to deceive the world. And that's what it says. But my key focus is deceive them about what exactly? In which way? In all the ways. How many different ways are woven? But what are we being deceived about? If you start looking into all of history, I just did a video about the Great Fires in the United States. They're actually all over the world. And these stone buildings that's seemingly burnt. That's what the story says. But the stories don't make sense. They have details that are really random about, the wind coming from the west and blowing about, as fast as walking speed. And the fire leapt over seas and bays. And you still see in the pictures that they give us that, to me, AI generated them years ago. It just seems like things don't make sense in the photo, or at least with the narrative that we're given about the fires, about how come there's wooden shacks or wooden telephone poles that didn't burn down, but stone that we use to build fireplaces since the beginning and that you might have in your home right now were flammable. No, it doesn't look like it doesn't seem like they would be burnt up. It seems like, if anything, it would be an explosion of some sort. I don't know, lasers or explosives put in there. I don't know. And why? Why were they causing all this destruction in all these major cities everywhere is my question. What were they hiding? What story were they trying to tell? I don't see the motive of it, unless the only motive that I see is that it is some type of wiping away of history and they need to tell you a new way of history. That's my only thinking. And we can't go back and find out the truth. All we just see is this stuff that doesn't make sense. And you just have to see it for that. And then question why. Everywhere is a mass deception. Everywhere is just trying to trigger your emotions and make you angry, sad, happy, or mainly hateful. If you see the news, they want you rooting for one side or this side. It's always a division. And that's how they've worked the deception, and it's how it's got away with being the way it is for so long. And this is just another avenue of it, is entertainment. And it just brings back the Bible verse to me about you're entertaining angels unaware. It's just, we know that they did fall. Where are they now? And how are they influencing us? And this is the way that I see that they are, is in every avenue of your news and telling you what it is and what it isn't, and how they could steer women away by making them worship these men and becoming the flusies that they are becoming now, and where we don't have any values and everything is just, there's no love, everything's hate, and everything is just about the physical appearance and looks, and they can make themselves be whatever shade of light that you need for you to worship them, to follow them, because we are like sheep and we will easily follow anything that is popular. We follow the masses, and that is very dangerous. You need to wake up and think on your own. Like, just question it. Just see it for how it is. And Jesus is the way. He made the way. And they're trying to tear him down in every way and pervert it and make you be on board with it too. But yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit more into that because I think it's actually deeper than what we think it is. Yeah, I think that there's some people that might have sold their soul, which is not really a real thing you could do. But for the sake of conversation, yeah, I do think that there are some humans, I do think that there are some people that do sell, that do sell out for fame. But the question, even Chris Brown's upbringing, doesn't even make sense. Like, if you look at any of these celebrities' backstories, their growing up, where they went to school, their parents, they were always like, their parents always had some type of connection to fame already or in the industry. And he said he graduated in a class that had like 26 people. How were you so well known from a small town? Like, how did you even get out there to get your music heard, your talent heard, to where you're in these, to where you're as famous as you are now? All the stories of these celebrities growing up, they are interesting to say the least. When I know some people from high school that have tried to, get into the music industry for years, and they're still, a small town singer or rapper, whichever. And they grew up in a bigger town. And how did they meet the talent agents? How did Chris Brown meet the talent agents and so forth? All these other people, celebrities. Seemingly easier connections than, people that we know. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that This world is very evil, very dark, and it's very hard to find truth in anything. So just question and observe. That's it. That's all I've been doing. And you'll start to see the pattern and how they try to control you. Anyways, that's all.
All hell breaks loose if it's not in his order.